Okay, Broad coming up on Pennsylvania Avenue, West Broad here in Allentown, in Bethlehem, almost in Allentown. All right, part one and pretty much part two dealt with my own I told you about my own personal experiences from living on the street and what it's really like, you know? Well, part three is going to deal with as far as here in the Lehigh Valley, how it's being addressed and how what's being done to help this situation out. All right. First off, in the three cities, there are three major places. There are places in the three cities that to help people living on the street. You know, shelters, things like that. The number one problem, and I actually really finally, you know, it's kind of like really got through my head at Hope Across Bridges last year, in December 2015 rather, where there's always talk about, you know, whether it's this, whether it's any problem here in the Valley, there's always a lot of talk about, you know, doing something about it, about, you know, people coming together and doing something about it. Welcome to the Lehigh Valley, and a lot of people will tell you this. Pretty much all it is. All right. At times, I tried to bring different parts of the area and organizations together, including the media. Say, hey, look, you really want to back up the words. You really want to prove that you're, you know, that you're big league, you know, major league and everything. Well, you gotta start coming together. You know what? I got tired of trying. And I really doubt you will, outside of Hope Across Bridges, you will ever see, you know, whether it's the homeless, whether it's any problem that faces more than just, you know, one locality in Lehigh Valley. I highly doubt you'll ever see that happen. Okay? It's just the way the area is, all right? If Safe Harbor, New Bethany, and, you know, in Allentown, I forget the names of them in Allentown, but if they would start trying to combine forces and really start going to the, you know, approaching the local politicians and leaders and say, hey, look, we need the funding. We got to do something here. And with the combined force, approach the state and congressmen and say, look, we got to do something here. And you know what? Just, you know, putting people in a shelter, you know, having this shelter program, you know, for the homeless, like, you know, they have a place to crash. It's warm overnight. You know what? That's not the solution. That's just an out of sight, out of mind approach to things. All right. You need people to start coming together. You know, here in Lehigh Valley. All right. Allentown, primary example here in Allentown. All right. There's so much damn talk about that little block that they call Center City, which is for the rich only, and yet they don't, you know, there's the city government, the city in general, you know, all these businesses, these high-end businesses there, the arena, don't do a single thing to help out. You know, I mean, this is one of the areas I can't figure out. You know, there's so much talk about the rebirth of the Lehigh Valley and the overused, nauseating word in the area renaissance the Lehigh Valley's going through. But yeah, okay, well, why isn't it known number one? Why is Allentown known number one in the country in the top 10 in the country for schools? Why isn't Allentown? Why isn't Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton combined number one in or at least in the top 10 in the country for having a state-of-the-art homeless shelter that will provide an actual solution and actual help. Why isn't the Lehigh Valley, Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton combined, or Allentown or Bethlehem? Easton is a smaller city, so I really nail Allentown and Bethlehem on this. Why are they not in the top 10 of the country for joint for companies that will hire people who might be living on the street or living in a homeless shelter? Why are they not trying to bring in the businesses that will give people a chance who, you lived on the street, you're staying in a homeless shelter, or even you're living on the street, hey, we're gonna give businesses a tax break for hiring these people. Instead of giving them instead of Allentown giving them 7 to 10 years of, hey, guess what? Come into 7th and Hamilton and we'll give you tax breaks for putting a business in here that most people that live around there cannot afford to begin with. Honestly, and this is, people living on the street is just one of the areas that I've said this about. The Lehigh Valley, Allentown especially, brags so much and drops so many millions of dollars into promotion for that nice little area, but yet the politicians, with the exception of Mayor Ed Pawlowski, who finally is the only politician in the city of Allentown to, this past Friday, he actually did a post on Facebook where he was shown serving hamburgers and hot dogs to the homeless people. To the best of my knowledge, he's the only politician in the city who's done that. Julio Garidi, the mayor of the city, the president of the city council, Jeff Glazier, Candida Off is new, so I still hold out hope for her. But the rest of the city council, I have yet to see do that. Okay? So that's the part, the Lehigh Valley in general, the two problems with this area are, number one, the organizations, trying to get them to cooperate. You know what? I stand a better chance of hitting that hitting the Powerball. It's over $1 billion right now than to seeing organizations and the city governments cooperate to actually solve the problems that involve more than just the one, or even to address the serious problems that face each individual city. The towns, honestly, I don't spend enough time in there, and I've never been to a town council meeting, so I really don't know. I can't say anything. But the cities I can say about from walking the streets and from covering the events. So that's the Lehigh Valley. I'm sorry, period. See the article, if you want to find out more about what the Lehigh Valley is really like, check the article Broken Record Syndrome in this week's edition. Michael Phoenix, founder of the magazine. To everybody, there are people and organizations trying to help here. They have to start cooperating. And that's the only way that they will be able to get the attention of state representatives and congressmen. In the cities, people living on the street, and other problems in this area that face this individual localities in the area in general, that's the only way they're going to get solved. And it will never happen. If it does, I'll be surprised. So, and the media in a majority of the media, yeah, they'll pop the occasional article, but other than that, they don't know what it's like. Michael Phoenix, founder of the magazine. Take care, everybody. I wish you, your family, and friends love, happiness, peace, and a life filled with laughter, love, joy, family, and friends. From Pennsylvania Avenue in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, coming up on Union Boulevard. I'll see you around later.